I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I was like, of all the fights, this is the co-main event, huh? Okay, you've got 50K Dan Ige versus the Leech Damon Jackson, or not the Leech? Is he the Leech? He might be the
He's the
Leech.
leech,
He is
Damon
the Leech.
Jackson, brother.
He is the Leech, absolutely. And this, to me, is very telling. This goes to show that you have one fighter, ranked fighter, Dan Ige, who was on a comeuppance of a comeuppance, who's now been brought down to earth a little bit. And now you have to fight a very dangerous guy with a very little upside and very high risk. I like this fight for Damon Jackson. I think this is a very winnable fight for Damon Jackson, but I also think Dan Ige has been fighting, he's been underperforming, in my opinion. And I think that this, of just same spot for Sean Strickland, of all the guys he's fought recently, this is the most winnable fight, in my opinion. Now, you might disagree, but talk to me, man. Like, what advantages does Damon Jackson have in this fight that he could really bring to the table against Dan Ige?
It has to be the backpack, Derek. The ground game, the control that Damon the Leech Jackson. That's why he's nicknamed the Leech, man. He will grab onto you and hold on like dear life. And Ige but the thing is, man, for as impactful as Ige is, as powerful as he can be, like you said, he's underperforming. But when he starts to get swelled on, when he starts to get held down, then we don't really see the power of Ige come through. So if 50K Ige can stay away, get on his bike, maintain distance, start popping some shots, get on the inside and knock out Damon Jackson, then we're looking for a 50K Ige fight, man. And that's classic Ige. He's an exciting fighter. But then you have Damon Jackson, man, on the other side, where this guy may not be as exciting, may not be as crowd friendly, but he can hold you down, he can beat you up. And if that's going to be the case for this fight, it's a rough one for Dan Ige going into this one, man, because like you said, he needs this fight to happen. He's really gone on a downhill slope, and to lose to, and I don't want to say Damon Jackson is a lesser opponent, but compared to the other fighters he was fighting, not as big of a name value.
Sure. And then this is the other thing you got to take into consideration, though, man. Let's just look at the dudes. Like, you lost 4 of your last 5 fights if you're Dan Ige. That's terrible. But you fought Movsar Evloev, Josh Emmett, Chan Sung Jung, the Korean Zombie. You got that one-hitter quitter on Gavin Tucker. That was beautiful, right? And then you lost to Calvin Cater. I mean, bro, that is a killer's row right there. Damon Jackson, on the other hand, you're picking up respectable victories, man. You just knocked out Pat Sabatini. Like, that was phenomenal. But before that, Dan Argueta, who's on this card, going to be fighting, right? Kamala Kirk, that's a good win right there. Charles Rosa, that's a good win. And then you get knocked out by Ilya Tapuria. So the only point that I'm bringing up here is that these are 2 different stages of careers in terms of fighters, man. And Dan Ige is getting an opportunity. First off, you're risking your ranking, right? Because if you lose this fight, goodbye top 15, brother. You're out of there. Damon Jackson, opportunity of a lifetime. I just think that if Dan Ige can avoid the grappling here, and do some anti jiu-jitsu, anti-wrestling stuff, and really hammer home on that power, he can have some success. Damon Jackson, though, man, height advantage. It looks like he has same reach, height advantage though, but the one advantage he does have is that Fortis MMA camp, right? Saif Saud, the general, that's going to be big right there, doing film study on Dan Ige. So really, in terms of willpower, right here, man, who would will this one out in your opinion between a Damon Jackson and Dan Ige?
That's an interesting question, man, because I don't see quit in either of these guys. Instantly in my mind, I think Damon Jackson. Mm-hmm. But at the same point, we've never seen Ige quit. We've never seen Ige really take a backward step. Like, in my mind, this dude is all action, forward pressure all day long, and down for a dogfight. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of leaning Ige a little bit, man. I don't know. What do you think?
There's something that tells me Damon Jackson, man, there's something different about this guy. He's fought under some very tough circumstances previously and gritted out wins. I think it was just a fight or 2 ago, man, where he had lost a loved one and he had to go and fight underneath that pressure. And he picked up the win, man. That's fantastic. I'm not saying that fighters don't do that all the time, because they kind of do. But there's something like that. For a Dan Ige, I just think that, just like I always talk about momentum, this is another momentum swing. If you lose this one, bro, it's only a foregone conclusion that inevitably your MMA path is coming to a close eventually if you can't get back on track, right? You can't lose this many fights in a row, 4 fights in a row. But then again, he's 31 years old and he's got a lot of time. I like Dan Ige in this spot. This is the whole point. We're looking at these props, man, and you see plus 250 TKO for Dan Ige. I like that. I really, really like that. One thing that I think is interesting is for Damon Jackson, plus 175 is his best prop. And I get that. Dan Ige is not going to be an easy guy to finish. But I kind of like that plus 550 submission too, man. I think that Damon Jackson might be able to put something together. And if he can put that backpack on, I can see a submission victory here, man. I totally can. The question becomes here, do you think that he can get that quick, you know what I mean, backpack on him, that quick single leg, that quick double, and just get him to the ground and nullify him? Do you think it'll be that easy?
I don't think it'll be that easy, but come round, 2.5, 3, somewhere at the start of 3, they give, Damon Jackson a little towel on the hands so he can actually get a little grip going into Ige. That's when I think the shots will pay off, especially the gas tank of Damon Jackson really does pay dividends late in those rounds. This is actually the hardest pick I've had on this card, Derek. There's some really good fights coming down the pipe, but Damon Jackson just provides a little, he has so much to win, but I'm going Ige as well because there's so much on the line. You said it yourself, Derek. He's 31 years old. There's a lot of fight left in this kid. And as a 31-year-old, man, I'm telling you, you feel young, you feel spry. Fighting another guy who is also, 22-4, been in the game a long time. I feel like Dan Ige thinks he has a little bit of momentum on his side, a little bit of younger vibe going for him and going to be pushing the pace. He needs the win. I'm going Dan Ige, man. And something tells me that decision is the bet to make, that plus 250. But at the same point, that's a lot of keeping Damon Jackson off of you, keeping the leech away. I'm going to take the plus 250 TKO prop, I'm looking for uppercuts and knees down the middle, trying to keep him off, and some chin music. Let's hope we're seeing 50K for Ige. I don't know, Derek, what do you think?
100%. I like that TKO prop. I'm going to roll with it. I can see some. You get him to the ground, you start trying to work that ground game, and then you fall victim to, trying to do that in MMA, man. This isn't jiu-jitsu, right? So I'll take the TKO for Dan Ige. I like that you're seeing it the same way right here. I will say, though, there's 2 dogs on this main card that I think can have some success, and Damon Jackson is definitely one of them. And I say dog, I mean, come on, minus 125, minus 105, hardly a dog if you want to call it that. And actually, now that I'm looking at it, Damon Jackson has swollen to a plus 100 underdog, minus 120 favorite is Dan Ige. So, I mean, it's getting close. It's getting close. But that is your co-main event.